Local governments pressure Zhongnanhai, she faces major trouble. CCP conducts night raids on electric bicycles, public decries another round of exploitation. Lightning strikes rainbow in Beijing, bizarre phenomenon goes viral in video. U.S. defense official warns, top 10 nightmares of CCP's attack on Taiwan. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Local governments pressure Zhongnanhai, she faces major trouble. Observers believe that the changes in the CCP's real estate policies not only reflect the collapse of the economy but also bring significant political changes. The CCP's central authority is facing collapse. In detail, China has sequentially lifted housing purchase restrictions in 24 first and second-tier cities, and the central bank announced last month an allocation of 300 billion yuan for local governments to purchase unsold commercial housing and convert them into affordable housing. This series of major policy changes aims to rescue the collapsing real estate sector, but the effects so far do not seem evident. The self-media Quantum Leap recently published an article analyzing the implications behind these policy changes. The article states that the 300 billion yuan, about $41.4 billion, special real estate fund issued by the CCP's central bank is merely a drop in the bucket compared to the hundreds of trillions of yuan in existing property assets. Distributed among 31 provinces and regions, each receives less than 10 billion yuan, about $1.38 billion. However, this is a significant achievement of local lords across the country collectively forcing the central government's hand. Quantum Leap argues that the Chinese Communist Party has a centralized structure in which the central government controls finances, taxation, and currency issuance, giving local governments limited economic autonomy. As a result, the central government retains a larger portion of the benefits, leaving local governments with less, despite their role in maintaining stability and managing local affairs. With the real estate sector increasingly dominating the economy, local governments have become more assertive using land finance and municipal bonds. Real estate has become the bargaining chip for local princes to challenge central authority. This shift in power dynamics is evident as local governments, overwhelmed by a real estate crisis and financially drained by many unfinished properties, are forced to seek financial aid from the central government, which is also financially strapped. Consequently, local governments use the housing market to pressure the central government. If you don't help me out of this predicament, I also lack the capacity to maintain local stability, which is a top priority for the central government. Consequently, the central government is forced to let the central bank excessively issue money to address the local urgencies, and this 300 billion yuan fund emerged from this situation. Quantum Leap says that with this current 300 billion fund, local lords will fight fiercely over it. The most fatal aspect is, once this door is opened, it's significant. If there's a first 300 billion, there will be a subsequent 3 trillion or even 30 trillion. The CCP Central can only desperately scavenge the people on one side and recklessly mortgage the future on the other. This local pressure on the central government is essentially a self-destructive process within the CCP. If CCP leader Xi Jinping gradually loses control over the economy, whether he will fall into the political predicament of his orders not reaching beyond Zhongnanhai, refers to the CCP headquarters in Beijing, is worth paying attention to. Currently, Xi Jinping appears to be sitting on a volcanic crater. In March, scholar Song Guocheng from Taiwan's National Chengchi University's Center of International Relations listed 10 major crises the CCP faces in 2024, including power tremors in Zhongnanhai. Song Guocheng said, Xi Jinping has entered the late governance stage. In Communist Party history, the older the leader, the more dangerous and out of control they become, as seen with Stalin and Mao Zedong. Last year, Xi's major power purge of his own appointees caused a fear of accompanying the emperor is akin to courting death, meaning the closer one is to Xi Jinping, the more silently one dies. Song Guocheng believes that the grassroots anti-Xi sentiment will grow from small to large, and the party's palace coups will move from covert to overt. Once Xi Jinping's prestige is undermined, power tremors in Zhongnanhai are likely to occur, with a severity difficult to predict. Additionally, the most recent blockbuster report from the U.S. Congress reveals that Xi Jinping's family holds assets exceeding $700 million, further undermining Xi's credibility and potentially exacerbating divisions within the CCP. According to The Sound of Hope, reports in the media suggest that this report is expected to severely impact the image that Xi Jinping has built over 12 years of anti-corruption efforts. Additionally, the report is expected to reveal hidden fortunes, amounting to up to $2.7 billion, of other high-ranking CCP officials such as Wen Jiabao. Against the backdrop of an almost collapsed Chinese economy and increasingly intense CCP infighting, this report is highly anticipated for the changes it may bring to Chinese society. CCP conducts night raids on electric bicycles. Public decries another round of exploitation. In China, electric bicycles are a popular mode of transportation. Since late May, the Chinese Communist Party has launched a large-scale rectification campaign. On May 23 alone, nearly 300,000 electric bicycles were removed nationwide in a single night operation. According to one mainland blogger, 250,000 personnel were mobilized, who flooded the streets to carry out the night raid on electric bicycles, confiscating them. Every electric bicycle that did not meet the new national standards was impounded. Another blogger lamented, "The world really seems to be turning upside down." Previously, on the evening of May 23, Chinese state media reported that a national inspection campaign was launched to deal with electric bicycles that did not comply with the new standards and were improperly parked or charged. A local citizen, Mr. Su, expressed his frustration. Before the Dragon Boat Festival, the authorities were aggressively inspecting. If a bike wasn't parked exactly on the designated line or wasn't parked correctly, they would just tow it away without issuing any fines or notices. Isn't that akin to robbery? There were no formal procedures followed, and everything was conducted illegally. Electric bicycles are considered a convenient and popular means of transportation across China. The populace contends that targeting end users for enforcement actions is unjustified and equates to treating ordinary people like leeks, ready for another harvest. One blogger questions why electric bicycles, bought through official channels and passing initial quality checks, are later deemed non-compliant. They argue that manufacturers, not ordinary citizens, should be accountable for any issues. Another suggests the crackdown on electric bicycles is financially motivated, aiming to boost sales of new bikes and ensure continued use of public and shared transport, thus impacting cost-conscious citizens. Commenting on this matter, Dutch activist Zhang Jinwang talked on the broader context. The CCP's approach, which devotes extensive manpower, financial resources, and materials primarily for stability purposes, results in an economy that is strained and people are struggling to make ends meet. The specific new national standards for electric bicycles in China mandate that the speed must not exceed 25 km per hour, and the weight must not be over 55 kilograms, among other specifications. However, some individuals argue that these limitations do not address the route safety concerns effectively. Because, to comply with the weight limit of 55 kilograms, manufacturers are forced to opt for lithium batteries instead of the more stable lead-acid batteries, thereby increasing the risk of fires. Mainland man's electric bike confiscated, silently lies down in middle of road. Amidst the widespread public frustration due to the mass confiscation of electric scooters by Chinese authorities, a recent video that spread on social media depicts a middle-aged man experiencing the confiscation of his electric scooter. In a surprising reaction, he silently picks up a briefcase, walks away, then enters a busy road and lies down motionless in the middle of the traffic lane. The video is titled poignantly, "Tears Fell. My brother's electric scooter was confiscated, he doesn't want to live anymore. What has life driven him to?" Below the video, subtitles state, "I'm unemployed, no one worries. I'm sick, I have no money for treatment, no one worries. I have no job, no income, no one worries. I'm homeless, no one worries. My purchased house is unfinished, no one cares." It appears that the video has been edited, with the final subtitle likely being a well-known phrase shared online. "I ride an electric scooter to earn a living. Suddenly people care about my safety." On Platform X, numerous netizens voiced their sorrow and despair about the living conditions under CCP governance, with comments like, "Go ahead, I don't want to live anyway, he probably can't survive anyway, even if they hadn't confiscated his scooter, and already unable to survive, and you still drive people to a dead end." Some viewers suggest that the man in the video may not actually intend to take his own life but is instead trying to compel the traffic police to return his electric scooter. Yet, others argue that the value of an electric scooter is not significant. Resorting to such extreme measures over a scooter underscores the severe conditions faced by the populace and their frustration and helplessness against the misuse of public authority. In recent years, ostensibly for traffic safety, traffic police have been rigorously enforcing regulations on electric scooters, leading to thousands of owners being fined or having their scooters seized. Several online videos showcase traffic police forcefully taking electric scooters on streets and even directly entering residential complexes to confiscate them. Many delivery workers resort to kneeling before the traffic police when their scooters are taken, while others engage in desperate confrontations with the officers. Lightning strikes rainbow in Beijing, bizarre phenomenon goes viral in video. On June 11th, an unusual event took place in the skies over Beijing. In the afternoon, as a fiery red sky appeared, rain fell, and a large rainbow was repeatedly struck by lightning, creating a striking visual that quickly went viral. By 6 p.m., the city was enveloped in dark clouds, with sudden strong winds, thunder, lightning, and intense rainfall. The Chongping district even experienced a brief hailstorm. This atmospheric anomaly continued into the evening, with video footage capturing rain on one side of the sky and a fiery red hue on the other. The massive rainbow struck by lightning added to the rare spectacle. Social media users speculated about the significance of this strange weather, recalling the appearance of unusual mammotus clouds the previous day, June 10th, which some found unsettling. Beijing has recently been hit by a series of extreme weather events, including temperatures above 37 degrees Celsius since June 10, leading to oppressive heat and severe thunderstorms. The strongest winds, recorded on June 11, reached level 10, bringing heavy rain and hail. Last year, rare red auroras appeared over regions including Beijing, Xinjiang, and Heilongjiang. In December, the sky over Beijing's Huairou district turned a deep blood red, a phenomenon considered ominous in ancient Chinese texts, predicting significant turmoil like war and famine. Additionally, a severe storm on May 30 damaged Beijing's Forbidden City, intensifying public speculation about impending significant events. Commentator Yang Ning wrote in the Epoch Times that the ancients believed in the unity of heaven and man, meaning celestial phenomena correspond to events on earth. The frequent appearance of anomalies in Beijing, the political center of the CCP, signals ominous omens for the upper echelons of Zhongnanhai. U.S. defense official warns, top 10 nightmares of CCP's attack on Taiwan. Recently, Elbridge Colby, former U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense, warned in an interview with the Japanese newspaper Yomiuri Shimbun about the potential for a sudden CCP attack on Taiwan. Colby highlighted that the CCP might resort to such measures as it sees peaceful reunification as increasingly unfeasible. He urged the U.S. to redirect its military aid from Ukraine to Taiwan, emphasizing the strategic importance of the Asian region as a first-tier war zone. Although he predicts continued surprise harassment tactics by the CCP, he doubts a large-scale surprise attack. A full-scale military operation against Taiwan would be too costly, the chances of success too low, and it would bring endless nightmares to the CCP. Nightmare 1: amphibious landing operations are highly difficult. Since the Korean War in the 1950s, the CCP has limited real combat and amphibious landing experience. These operations, known for their complexity and high casualty rates, require the attacker to significantly outnumber the defender. With Taiwan's 200,000 active duty troops, the CCP would need at least 600,000 troops for a feasible invasion. However, the logistical challenges of transporting such a large force and their supplies make an amphibious assault on Taiwan a particularly daunting task for the CCP. Nightmare 2: Taiwan's terrain is unfavorable for landing operations. Taiwan's terrain, characterized by its mountainous landscape and small beaches, poses significant challenges for large-scale amphibious landings. The eastern coast's cliffs and precipices render landings there impossible. Additionally, the shallow waters along the western coastline can cause large military ships to run aground, forcing troops to be transported from a mile offshore in smaller boats. This transition from sea to shore exposes invading forces to potential devastation by the Taiwanese military. Compounding the risk is Taiwan's possession of the Blue Sky Bomb, a powerful weapon capable of creating intense heat, flames, and oxygen depletion over a wide area, effectively countering People's Liberation Army (PLA) forces. Nightmare 3. Maritime weather conditions are unfavorable for invading Taiwan. From October to the end of March each year, the Taiwan Strait experiences fierce northeast monsoons, making crossing the sea very difficult due to low temperatures and large waves. But from July to September, the summer typhoon season makes maritime conditions unstable. Even if PLA forces manage to cross to Taiwan, the island's hot and humid weather, with temperatures nearing 40 degrees Celsius, poses a severe challenge to soldiers. Nightmare 4. Taipei is easy to defend but hard to attack. The CCP, aiming for a quick resolution, might directly target Taipei, but the city is located in a basin surrounded by mountains, with only 3 flat passages through Tamsui River, Keelungshiji, and Sanxia, making it easy to defend but hard to attack. Even if the CCP considers deploying paratroopers, the city's high-rise buildings make finding open spaces difficult, and it's hard to predict where paratroopers might land. Nightmare 5. Southeast coast engulfed in war, devastating China's economy. One thing the CCP doesn't dare tell the Chinese people is that once it invades Taiwan, the conflict could spread to Shanghai, Zhejiang, Fujian, and Guangdong, China's economic heartlands and densely populated areas. Once war breaks out across the strait, not only would both sides suffer heavy casualties, but the Chinese economy could regress by more than 20 years. Nightmare 6. Biden emphasizes military support for Taiwan 5 times. The Biden administration has publicly stated at least 5 times that if the CCP invades Taiwan, the U.S. will intervene militarily to maintain peace in the Taiwan Strait. This is undoubtedly bad news for the CCP, as it would not only face a combined U.S.-Taiwan force but also potentially confront Japan, Australia, and other countries in a group fight, making victory even less likely. Nightmare 7. Potential annihilation of the People's Liberation Army Navy, shattering dreams of naval dominance. The renowned U.S. think tank SIZE released a wargaming report in January last year stating that if war breaks out in the Taiwan Strait in 2026, the PLA would suffer a disastrous defeat, with the U.S. and Taiwan achieving a costly victory and the entire PLA Navy potentially being wiped out. This would not only destroy the CCP's dreams of becoming a naval power but also strip it of its maritime defense capabilities, certainly not the outcome the CCP leadership desires. Nightmare 8. Corruption in the PLA exposes vulnerabilities in combat. Since Jiang Zemin's tenure, the PLA has suffered from severe corruption, characterized by the buying and selling of official positions and the accumulation of vast wealth by high-ranking officials, with 50 generals reportedly sharing 340 billion yuan, about $47 billion, from military funds. This widespread embezzlement, which has undermined the military's infrastructure, could significantly weaken the PLA's combat effectiveness, turning this internal corruption into invisible landmines that could jeopardize operations during actual military engagements. Nightmare 9. Risk of coups and civil unrest. As we've mentioned many times, after the 20th Party Congress, the CCP leadership consolidated power and purged political rivals, causing significant discontent within the party and the military. The risk of political and military coups is ever present, and incidents of public resistance against officials and police are frequently erupting across China. This public discontent could escalate into civil unrest. If the CCP launches an invasion of Taiwan at this time, not only might Zhongnanhai face fires in the backyard, but uprisings could also erupt throughout the country. Nightmare 10. Disruption of high-end chip supplies, shattering dreams of technological dominance. Taiwan, a crucial player in the semiconductor industry, produces 90% of the world's high-end chips and has strong partnerships with major tech companies like Nvidia, AMD, and Intel, enhancing AI technology development. A CCP invasion could disrupt these partnerships and the global supply of high-end chips. Furthermore, even if the CCP takes control of Taiwan and TSMC, external entities like ASML Company in the Netherlands could disable critical technology such as extreme ultraviolet lithography machines, significantly hindering China's goals in the semiconductor sector. With these 10 nightmares looming, the CCP is unlikely to rashly launch a full-scale military operation against Taiwan. However, the CCP might continue to exert pressure on Taiwan through military threats and encirclement tactics. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.